last time you came on the show, you were talking about the charity work that you've done with animals.
Right.
Now you got something pretty fascinating that you're doing
Yeah,
with people.
I actually opened up my own nonprofit, and let me I opened up Victory Driving Academy, which is my driving school in Daytona Beach, Florida. And how I got into the nonprofit part is that private driving lessons are very expensive, and a lot of kids can't afford them. And if you can't afford driver's license, you can't afford you know getting your learner's permit, getting your driver's license. The whole process takes a lot of money. It really does.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one reason I started this nonprofit, is to help the kids that you know are set back with a couple things. Kids that are in foster care, kids that are just struggling, kids that are you know in homeless shelters and stuff like that. I want to give them a fair shake. At the everybody. I call it the American dream. Driving the car. I took it for granted. I had a hardworking dad that bought me a car, my first car. A lot of kids don't have that luxury as I did. So it's time for Jacko to give back.
I think that's so cool, being
Yeah,
able to provide like a platform to be able to
right,
help kids that are going through so much in their lives to
right,
live their dream, pursue their
right.
passions,
Get
and
good jobs. You
get
know
good
what I
jobs.
mean?
Yeah, have that life experience.
You know, right now, I'm working with kids that, they can only work wherever the bus takes them. You know what I mean? So, me helping them get their, license and all that, and cutting deals with them to get their cars and stuff like that's going to help them tremendously. So, I'm pretty proud of what's going on.
Now, how long have you started this business?
The, the nonprofit Victory Driving Academy has been around for 2 years. The nonprofit started this year.
Ooh, okay, so
Yeah,
it's fairly
yeah. It's
new.
fairly new, and it's not easy. I'm telling you, starting a nonprofit is not easy. It's slowly starting to pick up momentum now. You need to get over those hurdles. And I'm starting to, get really good donors and stuff like that to move it forward.
What were some things that you kind of struggled with in the beginning that you're now going, okay, I now know what we're doing?
You can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't have people with money backing you, you know, you can only do so much. Victory Driving Academy can only do so much. You need that. It costs right around. This is just lessons, license, and their learner's permit is right around $500. You know what I mean? So how many kids can you help? If you don't have backers, you know what I mean? So
You got
yeah,
to get as many people to help
yeah,
support you as possible so that the
right,
project gets
right,
funded and out there.
right,
And
right.
it's incredible now, almost a year into this project. That where do you see Victor Driver Academy going?
Well, Victory Driving Academy is doing fantastic. You know, I I did that about 2 years ago. I started that company, and now I'm doing it full time, hiring people. It's going really well. Um, the My first keys is the nonprofit. Um, we're starting now. We're starting to get into the fundraising stuff like that. I'm putting my personal F-150 up for a $10,000 bounty. Um, 20 businesses are going to wrap the car in their logos and stuff like that. And so it's pretty it's fun. You know, got a lot on my plate. So
When you are helping these kids, I'm sure like when they come up to you and when they get their license, I'm sure it makes you feel real good because you've
it
helped them
does.
out.
It does. It does. Who would have ever thought Jack Victory would be helping, kids learn how to drive, you know. But that's one thing Bill Watts, I thank Bill Watts for, because the only thing you did was drive, wrestle, and sleep in that territory. There was no there was nothing else. Drive, wrestle, and sleep. You know, that was but I love to drive. You know, you can ask any of the boys that went up and down the roads with me. That's one thing that I did pretty well was drive that car. So,
When you're in the car with your students, what are some things that you tell them that keeps them, going and giving them that
oh,
encouragement?
you always have to break that ice of nervousness. You know what I mean? I have a braking system on my side of the car, so that helps a lot. You know, me able to stop that car if they get in into any trouble and stuff like that is a blessing. You know, but you got to grab that wheel sometimes too, man, when they start drifting. You know, these little rookie kids, you know, they start drifting down the road. Like, but it's fun. It's fun working with, yeah, I work with adults too. You know, it's just not kids. It's adults. My oldest student was 84 years old.
84.
She got pulled over for going too slow. So in the state of Florida, if you get a ticket at that age, you have to take the driver test again.
Oh
So
man.
she took the driving test 65 years ago. You know what I mean? Said, and that was like horse and buggy back then. So she hired me to show her what was on the driving test, and she got her license again. So it was,
Got him.
she did good. She did good.
That's a very inspiring story. It's never too late to learn a new
Never too
thing.
late. Yeah, exactly, man.
84
Um,
years old.
84
That's a
years old.
that's a success story.
She was a cutie pie, that's for sure. Yep.
What is it about giving back to the community that gives you the most joy?
You know, I answered this a lot. I lived a really cool life, really cool. You know, was able to live out my dream at 18 years old, going on the circuit, wrestling. I lived that dream, and my last days on this earth, I'm giving back. You know, and that's until the good Lord takes me. That's my mission, is to help people out.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know what people are going through in life, and it
Yeah.
takes that one person to turn their day around.
Yeah, just
And
one smile from these kids. You know, they've been through so much hell. You know what I mean? Been through so much. You know, and you know, getting them their license and stuff like that. It is just like you said. It's so cool.
yeah, it's definitely rewarding to be able to pay it forward to other people that are
Right,
that are just going through a lot in their lives and are
right, right. So
and you're doing them a good service by teaching them and inspiring them
right,
to do well in life.
it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool when I lay my head down at night. It's pretty cool.